5 of Australia's most trusted car brands are falling at the same time, not over 5 years, not one after another. Simultaneously, in 2026, in the same VFAX data, in the same 6-month window, Nissan, Suzuki, Mitsubishi, Subaru, Lexus, every one of them down double digits this year. And it is not a coincidence, and it is not unrelated to anything we have covered on this channel before. It is one story, playing out across 5 brands at once, and if you own a car from any of them, you need to understand exactly what is happening. We tracked the WhichCar and CarsGuide data through to June 2026. Here is the full story, brand by brand, and the one Japanese brand that is not just surviving this, but using it to pull further ahead. The mechanism is the same one we have covered across multiple videos on this channel, now visible across an entire national brand. Australia sells roughly 1 million new cars a year. That number does not grow much. When BYD, GWM, Chery, and Juke arrive and post double and triple-digit growth, every single one of those new sales has to come from somewhere. It is coming from Japan. Here is exactly which 5 brands are absorbing that loss, starting with the worst. Nissan, the worst of the 5, by a wide margin. Down 32.2% year-on-year through the middle of 2026, and earlier in the year the figure was even more severe, with Nissan reporting a 44.7% collapse in the first 2 months alone. Nissan has dropped out of Australia's top 10 entirely. CarsGuide put it plainly, the brand has seemingly permanently dropped out, making way for new entrants like BYD and GWM. The damage is not isolated to one weak model. It is across the entire lineup. The Qashqai, Nissan's small SUV, is down 78%. The X-Trail, historically the brand's second bestseller, is down 49.4%. The Navara Ute is down 35%. Nissan also discontinued the Juke and the Pathfinder in Australia in 2026, both models that were already struggling to find buyers. Nissan's own Australian managing director, Adam Patterson, has said publicly that the company's results are supply-driven rather than demand-driven, that customers are still queuing, but the cars are not arriving fast enough from the factory. A new Qashqai, a new Navara, and a hybrid X-Trail are all incoming. Whether that is enough to climb back into the top 10 against BYD and GWM's current momentum is the open question. Suzuki, down 32.5%, the second worst decline of any Japanese brand in Australia in 2026, narrowly behind Nissan. We have covered specific reasons for Suzuki's struggles on this channel before the Fronx's 1-star ANCAP safety rating and subsequent recall, the S-Cross and Ignis being axed for failing updated safety regulations. What this video adds is the scale. Suzuki is not an isolated case of one bad model launch. It is part of a 5-brand pattern happening to Japanese manufacturers across this market simultaneously. The Jimny remains the one genuine bright spot. Demand still exceeds supply for that specific model. But the rest of the Suzuki range is being pulled down by the same competitive pressure affecting every brand on this list. Mitsubishi, down 22.9%. If you have watched our previous video on Mitsubishi's collapse, this confirms the trajectory has not reversed. The new Renault-based AS, meant to be the affordable entry point into the brand, sold just 695 units in the first 5 months of 2026. In the same segment, BYD sold 2,919 Atto 2s. Chery sold 11,309 vehicles. Juke moved 4,017 J5s. CarsGuide was direct about why affordable small SUVs are precisely where Chinese brands are winning hardest, and Mitsubishi's new asks simply is not landing with buyers the way the old model did. There is a genuine bright spot. An all-new Pajero is confirmed for the end of 2026, reviving one of Mitsubishi's most beloved nameplates. Whether nostalgia for that name is enough to offset what is happening everywhere else in the lineup remains to be seen. This channel tracks what is actually happening in the Australian car market, the patterns most people only notice one brand at a time. Subscribe now. Every video we publish could save you thousands of dollars. Subaru, down 22.4%. And Subaru's situation has a specific structural cause that the other 4 brands on this list do not share. Subaru's 2 best-selling models in Australia, the Forester and the Outback, were both replaced within 12 months of each other. CarsGuide called it always going to be a tricky period for exactly that reason. The Forester has now been on sale for nearly a year, which makes its continuing 8.4% decline genuinely concerning rather than just a launch period dip. And the new Outback has been met with mixed reviews, specifically over its radically different styling, a risk every manufacturer takes when it changes the look of a model buyers have trusted for decades. Subaru's challenge is partly the same competitive pressure hitting Nissan, Suzuki, and Mitsubishi, but it is compounded by a self-inflicted timing problem. Replacing both flagship models in the same window during the most competitive period in this market's history is a risk that is now visibly playing out in the sales figures. Lexus, down 15.6%, the smallest decline of the 5, but still a meaningful one for a brand whose entire positioning has historically been built on reliability and resale strength that buyers pay a premium for. Lexus has typically been considered insulated from exactly this kind of market disruption, a premium badge with a loyal buyer base, less sensitive to price competition from Chinese entrants. A 15.6% decline shows that insulation has limits. When the volume brands underneath a premium nameplate are all losing share simultaneously, even the brand sitting above them in the market does not escape the pressure entirely. And then there is Toyota, the one Japanese brand not on this list, and the reason the other 5 are worth watching closely. Toyota also had a rough patch in early 2026, down as much as 25% year-on-year during the gap between the outgoing and incoming RAV4 generations, a story we covered in detail on this channel. But Toyota's decline was a temporary supply story. The other 5 brands on this list are not waiting on a single hero model to arrive and fix everything. Their declines are broader, deeper, and tied to structural competitive pressure rather than a stock shortage. Toyota remains Australia's #1 brand by a clear margin, holding around 15.8% market share even through its own difficult stretch. While Nissan, Suzuki, Mitsubishi, Subaru, and Lexus are all losing ground to the same wave of Chinese competition, Toyota's hybrid-heavy lineup, its Inves credit position, and its 3-decade resale reputation are giving it a buffer that none of the other 5 currently have. 5 Japanese brands. 5 simultaneous declines. Nissan down 32.2% and out of the top 10 entirely. Suzuki down 32.5%. Mitsubishi down 22.9%, still recovering from the model cuts we covered in detail previously. Subaru down 22.4%, caught in a self-inflicted timing problem with 2 flagship replacements at once. Lexus down 15.6%, proof that even a premium badge is not fully insulated. If you own a car from any of these 5 brands, none of this means your specific vehicle is suddenly unreliable or unsupported. What it means is that the brand behind your car is operating with less market leverage, thinner dealer margins, and a weaker negotiating position than it had 2 years ago, and all 3 of those things eventually show up in your trade-in offer. Toyota is the lone Japanese brand absorbing this shock rather than being crushed by it. That is not an accident. It is the same resale strength, the same dealer network depth, and the same brand trust this channel has used as the benchmark in every single video we have published. Subscribe now. Every week, we track exactly which brands are winning this market and which ones are quietly losing it.